Thank you. I have no idea how many customers, prospects there are here in this community. If there are some customers here, if you don't mind, just wave or just type in 111. I don't know. This is I learned from the Chinese. 111888. I don't know what is it all about, but anyway, 111, please, to identify who are the customers so that I can be a little bit targeted towards that. And I'm trying to change the format of how we talk or how we share information, rather than going right through the entire deck of slides. What I'd like to do is to do a bit of introduction and get straight to the products, so that we are able to get down to servicing your expectations a lot better. Okay, so I still need to share my screen, so I will do that for some introduction. Voila. Okay, welcome to Z Dream Team. My name is Michael Low. For those that don't know me, I'm the founder and principal of a company and also a clinic. The clinic is here in Malaysia right now, and is sitting right on Jalan Ampang, 2 plots away from Glen Eagles Hospital. We put the clinic in recess right now because of this outrageous numbers of cases, and because of where we are in a bit of a Soho kind of a setup, and the population of the buildings are quite high. So we want to protect ourselves as much as we want to protect you or anyone coming to us. So we have minimized that that kind of seeing patients, right? What we do as a clinic, we are a functional medicine clinic. Functional medicine is primarily an approach to investigative medicine where we look at systemic rather than symptomatic. The sick care, sorry, I call the healthcare people sick care because they're not looking after your health or my health. They're looking after or looking for sickness. So I call them sick care people. What they're looking for is they look at symptomatic. When you have a pain here, they treat the pain here. When you have a pain there, they treat the pain there. And of course, that applies more directly to the organ functions, right? If you have pancreatic, renal, liver, and gastronomic kind of issues, GI issues, gastrointestinal issues, they treat that part only, that organ only, without looking at the entire system. So systemic approach is really what we do, and we are entirely evidence-based, personalized, and natural and food grade nutraceuticals. So our business is actually very, very, very similar to what Zinzino has to offer. So when I came across this last year in December, I was very attracted to it because never have I seen a company in the last 18, 20 years in my business that I have come across a company that would be evidence-based, or rather some like to call it test-based, personalized nutrition protocol. See how it's very similar to what I practice in the clinic. So that's what we do in the clinic as functional medicine. I have also a company in Singapore that provides corporate executive health management. So we look at stress, sleep, mental health, and vitality of most Fortune 500 executives in the region. So we span out to Singapore, Taiwan, Korea, Taiwan, China, Japan. Okay, so that's what we do as Shante Group. Shante Sanctuary is the name of the clinic. But tonight is not about us, it's everything about Zinzino. And Zinzino's motto also attracted me, and their motto is to inspire change in life. And initially, I really got attracted to this motto of theirs. And subsequently, having engaged myself into this company, I found that, by God, it has also changed my life, as well as I am changing so many people's life over the last 7 months of being engaged with this company. So I'm very deeply touched, and I'm very motivated, not on my personal benefit by any means, but for everything that we could do, and hence the offer through the clinic to every partners in the Z Dream team. I've set up Z Dream team simply because I myself have never been in any direct sale or MLM company or businesses like this before. I've always been a management and also a consultant, where we manage and open up a luxurious clinic around the world. I previously have managed a German company, which is a regenerative medicine clinic in Germany for closing to 5 years, and then set up luxurious destinations in China where functional medicine is concerned. So the Dream Team was set up so that I know how to support as much as I need to support. So I created the system where effective tools are provided across the board for all our associates, as well as you tonight as the customer. You will be able to gain access to very easy to refer, easy to understand flashcard information, where then after you are able to be a better informed customers, because this product is indeed extremely high performing. Okay, so leading on to this, I really don't want to talk too much about these few slides, so I'm going to just get out of this slide sequence, and these few slides that I wanted to talk about is very much about the health that we are at this moment. Okay, so I won't use the slides for now, but I will just leave it on this particular slide, where it looks at life is such a confusing puzzle, right? I mean, we have so much difficult decisions to make, and constantly we are trying to piece the right jigsaw puzzle, if you may, for us, so that we can achieve this ideal picture of a harmonious lifestyle. Am I right? But how often do we face the issues that these are complicated problems that we can't piece together, and only because the sick care industry don't tell us the truth about why do we fall sick. Okay, now to cut to all the chase, most doctors, when you go to them with a heart problem, with a liver problem, with a pancreatic problem, with a liver kidney problem, and so on and so forth, with any other simple other problems like loss in memory, mood, decline in your mood, and so on and so forth, they always tell you that it is your fault, right? You don't sleep well, you smoke too much, you drink too much, you eat too much sugar, and you have a poor lifestyle, you don't exercise enough, and so on and so forth. Now, at this point, I want to ask you, how many of you know friends and members of family that lead a relatively healthy lifestyle, and yet they are sick, and yet they drop dead, and yet they are not well, right? So there is this unequal struggle, I say, in this putting together this big, massive jigsaw puzzle, how to live, what to eat, and how to act, and what exercise to do, and so on and so forth. It's so frustrating, right? So tonight, what I want to do is to share with you that one very simple fundamentals that is causing, I would say, 95% of our problems. Okay, if you're not born with it, if you've gotten ill through your early days of life or your middle adolescence way of living that causes you the present problem that you have, there is only really one underlying problem, and that's to understand essential fatty acid. Essential fatty acid primarily is 4 omegas, okay? Omega 3, 6, 9, and 7, okay? We'll stay concentrated on these 4 omegas tonight, okay? So what the problem that we have is, fundamentally, our body is over-inflamed, and the inflammation lasts for a long period of time, that it develops into a chronic disease, right? And how do you get inflamed? How do you get into the state of inflammation? Let's go backwards. Now, we know a lot of all these chronic diseases are due to inflammation. And what's the cause of inflammation? I guess is the question right now, right? So let me take you back to this understanding of this essential fatty acids. Now, most of our food source is the culprit that causing us to have an elevated, means a high level of omega-6, all right? We simply, and more so in Asia, we simply don't have enough omega-3 in our diets. We're just not eating enough, all right? Now, I want to share with you this lifestyle, these people in the North Pole or South Pole, those snow-capped residents, right? They call them Inuit. Inuit are those Eskimo people, right? When you look at the lifestyle of this Inuit community, right, they do not have the kind of problems we have. And what do they have? They primarily eat a lot of fish, which is primarily omega-3, right? And they don't have a lot of omega-6 in their lifestyle, which sometimes they do, but the excessive amount of omega-3 is the reason why they don't get into ill health. Now, that is not all. In their diet, primarily, is also full of polyphenol, which is a source from olive, in this case here, that we're talking about. Polyphenol and combination of omega-3 is the underlying optimizer to the Inuit. These people's tribe is known as Inuit. Inuit tribal people, which is the Eskimo, North and South Pole, okay? Now, this company in Scandinavia, known as Zinzino, discovered all this way about 17, 18 years ago, okay? And that's how old is this company. It's located in Sweden, but they engaged the whole of Scandinavia to participate in the business. So you have countries in Iceland, Norway, and other supporting countries within the Scandinavian communities in this business, but it primarily comes from Sweden. They realized that this Inuit lifestyle is so ideal and so admirable by other parts of the population and around the world that they want to be a part of that lifestyle. And when they investigated further, they realized that these people are eating primarily omega-3 and a lot of polyphenol in their diet, that they are in an optimized health level because there's no fast food, there's no char kway teow, there's no rojak, mamak rojak, and they don't have this and that and the other. They don't have a lot of sugar, teh tarik and stuff like that. They have none of that, right? So these Swedish people learned this some 17, 18 years ago and then created this balanced oil. And this balanced oil was so happened discovered by the founder of this company, Mr. Oren Sal, where he had at that time, so this is almost 20 years, so he's in his 20s then, he's in the 40s right now. He had a very bad and poor gut health, okay? So he has GI issues, okay? Gastrointestinal issues. So when that happened to him, he discovered this balanced oil and he consumed it, and lo and behold, his problems was resolved. He was so impressed with this company that he bought over the company, and subsequent over, I guess, 10 years, he listed the company in Europe. So that's the history of the company. It's about 17 years old, and it's been listed in Europe, NASDAQ, for the last 7 years. So they are sound and reliable, and it's a company that is performing very steadily upwards. Now, back to the science of this, okay? We are talking about omega-3 and polyphenol as the optimizer of our health, which reduces all inflammation. Remember, we're talking about inflammation just now, right? Now, back a couple of steps now. When we consume our Asian diet, just last night or so, we were talking about how different Asians and Europeans are. We unfortunately don't eat healthy enough. And some people even remark that eating healthy is not cheap. Absolutely. But I can tell you, it's cheaper than you paying the doctors and hospital and your drugs down the road in 10, 20 years down the road, okay? I'm a victim of that system, so I can tell you straight out of the horse's mouth if I take myself as a horse tonight. Anyway, so if I take that as an example, it's not that very expensive in total because we can fix this problem in just 120 days. And I am confident enough because we are seeing it. We have not seen it in the past. It's not something that we saw a little while ago and we don't see it again. We're seeing it every day, all the time, every time now in amongst our community, that within 120 days, people's health get optimized. So it's important for us to understand. Now, let me drive this message further into your minds at the moment that we in Asia, we do not have a healthy lifestyle primarily because of the trans fat and saturated fat that we use in our oil, okay? And the food that we're consuming, sad to say, Asia has got so abundant land and animal source, and yet most 85–90% of our food supply comes from farm animals, okay? It's disturbing to the grave, literally, that we are now consuming man-made farmed, when you talk about farm animals, what are we talking about? We're talking about animal feed. We're talking about probiotics. We're talking about heavy metals. We're talking about growth hormones, right? Now, let's not go and get overextended with what we have to understand with the farmed animals. With the exception, I want to talk about the base food that they get to feed. And the base food that they get to feed is soy and corn. Soya and corn, okay? These two food substance has the highest level of omega-6. Now, there is no way out of our lifestyle. We have lousy oil that we use. And I know some of us, a small percentage of us, have the lifestyle that we're using a lot more olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. But I would say a larger percentage of us are not using this kind of a premium oil in our diet. So therefore, we are exposed to this saturated trans fat kind of oil that is horrendous for our diet, let alone the food source that we're eating. So we, for a start, the picture that I'm trying to paint is, unfortunately, we Asians are in a bit of a trap where the food that we're consuming is just not healthy enough. And that's the reason why our omega-6 level is so very, very high. Omega-6 is good, like omega-3, 9, and 7. We need omegas for the development or for the construction of our baseline health. Okay, that is critical. But out of these 4 omegas that I was talking about, omega-3, 6, 9, and 7, only one, unfortunately, has a, I want to use the word maybe disadvantage. And that disadvantage is in omega-6, because omega-6 promotes and increases inflammation, whereby the other 3 omegas, omega-3, omega-9, and omega-7, reduces inflammation. So the unfortunate culprit here, the bad boy, is omega-6. And omega-6 is something that we cannot escape from in our normal diet, okay? And in addition to that, because we're eating already too much of it, excuse me, too much of it, and that's the reason why our inflammation is at a very dangerous state, okay? Now, I won't confuse you with how we measure the ratio between omega-6 and 3 yet, but I'll get to that in 10 minutes time. So let me then further now develop. Now, remember, we don't eat good, right? Unfortunately. And because we eat too much of omega-6 laced kind of food, it causes inflammation. Inflammation causes chronic inflammation, which is the same as chronic diseases. What are the chronic diseases that we have? I'm talking about cardiovascular, respiratory, gut health. I'm talking about diabetes. I'm talking about autoimmune system. I'm talking about early, younger, faster aging processes. It speeds up our processes so people get old a lot earlier and so on and so forth, right? So these are the kind of issues that we have in chronic diseases. we are so blessed that at least today we have Zinzino as the product that can help reverse this symptoms within a very short period of time. And that period of time is 120 days. So what I want to do is to try and get down to the product screen as quickly as I can. So this company is very clever in the sense that they have created this particular fish oil, primarily fish oil, from the ideal source of omega-3, and that's mackerel and anchovies of a small size, small age, young age fish, because it's not contaminated yet. Now remember, they learned so much 17, 18 years ago from the Inuit community, or the Inuit tribe in the North and South poles, that polyphenol was also a substance to be added into this combination. And with that formulation, they maintain it. And they now also have vitamin D3 and vitamin E together with it, okay? So this particular oil that I'm introducing to you, and I'm suspecting that you can see my screen here right now, and this is the Zinzino Balance Oil Plus, okay? And to scan through very quickly, what does this oil do? It balances out. Remember, with too much omega-3, we don't have with too much omega-6, we don't have enough omega-3, right? So this oil helps to optimize the level of our depleted amount of omega-3, therefore leveling out the omega-6 excess, okay? So this is one of its job that it's supposed to do. And the second thing that it does with polyphenol is almost a master antioxidant that helps the omega-3 to maintain its bioavailability, which is the potency, at a longer time in our body, so that the body can properly absorb into our cellular level. So this is the secret. The secret is it works on a cellular level. All right. So we will go a little bit more on the cellular impact of this particular product in a little while. So second ingredient. So you have you have omega-3 oil, you have polyphenol, which is the pre-harvested olive. In this case here, for this particular bottle, it comes from Spain, but there are some olive or polyphenol the company uses come from Cyprus. And over the last 48 hours or so, I'm studying so much about Moroccan polyphenol oil that I'm very intrigued by. So back to this, omega-3 polyphenol, okay? Now this particular oil also contains vitamin D3. D3 helps to optimize our immune system, our bone health, to regularize our hormones level, right? Vitamin D3, a lot of us say, I go out to the sun every day, I get free God-sent vitamin D3, no need to pay money. How wrong can it be? Because you need to spend minimum 20 minutes every day between hours of 9 to 11 a.m. With 80% of your body exposed to the sun. Minimum 20 minutes, so front and back, post, okay? How many of us actually get to do it? Not that many. And particularly now, there was this propaganda that scared us some maybe 10, 15 years ago. Oh, too much sun, you have skin cancer, okay? So everybody put sunscreen on, and then they don't go out so much. And that's the death trap again. 87% of the patients we see in the clinic are deficient in vitamin D3. No wonder we have so many people with cancer tumor over the last 10, 15, 18 years that I've been exposed to this particular industry, right? So the immune system is completely deflated. We're talking about Asian here. I'm not talking about Europeans that get 2.5 months of sun. That's why the Angmo fella, every time got sun, they want to go and sunbathe, and Telanjang, they go and nude sunbathe and all that kind of thing, because they understand the importance of vitamin D3. Excuse me, let me take a drink. Okay. So vitamin D3, we learned that is very, very good, right? Vitamin E, we've also learned that is one of the least talked about, but it's also an antioxidant. It actually helps to kill off the free radicals in our system. So you see, this clever Swedish guy packed everything that we don't have into one bottle, and is basically what we are looking for the longest time, right? As we age, and now we age a lot more faster because of increased omega-6, right? So basically, what does it do? It contributes towards optimizing your brain function. How does the brain function get optimized? Okay, we have this circuit like this in our brains. It's a brain neuron called our connectors, right? Is firing constantly, firing signals. As we get older, these signals get short circuit a little bit. So what it does with the omega-3 oil, it protects it by giving it this, what you call a myelin. A myelin is what is insulating these cables. I'm trying to use as simple terms as possible in our brain function. So myelin is optimized by the omega-3 oil that we consume. And also, in addition, you have to understand that 60% of our brain is fat, huh? So it's not made of brain that you know, I'm very smart. Actually, 一頭都係肥嚟㗎, okay? So the whole head inside is just fat. But you want to make sure, excuse me, you want to make sure that you have good fat in your head, right? And one of the fat, which is in this case here, the essential fatty acids of omega-3, contributes towards the construction or the formation of myelin, which is the protector of this connection, this signal connection that we have in our brains. So therefore, one of the optimal functions that this particular oil brings to people is optimizing brain function. People, after taking this for like 2 months, a couple of bottles, that means, right, starts to have better memory, sharper memory, and brain functions are no longer that foggy kind of mong cha cha kind of a feeling. So it gets people to be a lot more sharper in the way of thinking, right? So brain function, heart function also strengthens up. So you feel a lot more stronger in your heart faculty. Fortifying immune system. Hey, what are we talking about now? We're talking about immune system, and that's the only thing that we are worried about at the moment with this crazy variant of COVID-19 virus at the moment, that you need to make sure that your foundation, which is your immune system, is fortified. As what the Chinese medical scientists has discovered just only weeks ago, that you need protein, omega-3, polyphenol, and vitamin D, D3, in order to ensure your defense mechanism against this COVID virus is at place, right? 到位, right? So you want to make sure that, and ladies and gentlemen, this particular bottle of oil, known as Zinzino Balance Oil, can be the defender of this particular virus out there for all of us. So this is contributed or discovered by the medical scientists of China, Chinese, okay? So the fourth thing is bone health is so important. As we get older, people are talking about, you know, worrying to have a better bone health, the strength of your bones, and above all, in my personal experience, is the joints and cartilage of your bones, where it helps to rebuild the mechanism that allows your bones to be in perfect function. Okay, so bone health is optimized. Mood moderator. Some people have actually talked about, after taking this particular oil for a little bit, like 10-14 days, their mood is so much happier and they feel so light. And so now this is not a drug or anything of that sort to make you feel high. No, it's not, because it's actually fine-tuning your hormonal level. Vitamin D3 is responsible of that. Okay, so moving on, how do you start this journey? A lot of people say, now I let the cat out of the bag, so to speak, earlier by saying that this is possibly the most matching philosophy to my clinic practice, but it is also the world's first and only company that offers test-based, personalized nutritional protocol. Okay, test-based is what I'm going to talk about. So this particular box you see in front of you here right now is that balance test that they offered. And you need to do this balance test because you and I, off our cuff, we do not know how well we are and how sick we are, let alone how well we are. And the method of doing this is very, very simple. It's just one little prick on the finger, 2 little drops of blood onto that circle blotter, and then it's sealed into an airtight bag. It sends out to Norway to a laboratory to do the assessment. And the processes is very, very simple. It's just 1 prick, 2 drops on the blotters, airtight bag, sealed, sent to Norway, and you get the result back in 2 weeks. Okay, it's given to this particular independent clinic, a laboratory, I beg your pardon. It's a laboratory in Oslo, Norway, that does this particular test. Now, this Vitas lab is not by any means connected to Zinzino, so therefore they are unable to identify any preferential profiles of people sending in the test. So no hanky-panky there. Okay, so in just 14 days you get the result back, and you are able to better understand. Now, what is the result that you get back, right? Are you getting a lot of information? Absolutely yes. This particular test allows you to understand your ratio, because we're talking about omega-3 and omega-6 out of balance, right? Too much omega-3, not enough, too much omega-6. My brain is not working. Too much omega-6 and too little omega-3. So let's quantify it. So they will tell you how out of balance you are with your omega-6 vis-a-vis your omega-3, okay? So this helps you a lot to understand. It also tells you how much or how little omega-3 you have by telling you, finding under the omega-3 index. This is important. So you tell me how much omega-3 I have, omega-6 I have, you have to tell me how little omega-3 I have so that I know where I am, right? It's only fair, okay? So this is what this report will tell you. It also tells you your mental strength, your brain function. And your brain function, as I mentioned to you, you need a lot of good omega-3 source with the protection of polyphenol so that the brain functions can work like a bang, 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 a kind of a speed, right? So the mental strength allows you to see where you are at. Now, I also let the cat out of the bag by telling you it works on a cellular level. And the fourth piece of information here, it actually tells you your cell membrane fluidity, which in effect tells you about the cellular wall health that you have, okay? It tells you how fluid it is. And when it's fluid and soft, nutrients can go in, toxic can come out. If it's not healthy, then what actually happens is hardened and food can't go in, nutrition can't go in, and definitely toxic can't come out. So it becomes more inflamed, right? We have over 100 trillion cells in our body. And just imagine 85% of our body is inflamed under this very poor cellular health level. Checkmate. We're not going to have a good health, right? So it tells you cell membrane fluidity. It also tells you your protection value, which is really your immune system, how well protected you are. So that's very, very important as well. And now, above all, it also tells you your arachidonic acid level, and that is how your body is consuming and digesting omega-6. So that's also very important, because no omega-6 is also no good. But our problem here right now is too much of omega-6, not enough omega-3, because we just don't get enough omega-3 in our diet here in Asia, right? Unlike in the colder climate in Scandinavia, in Japan and all, their fish is from colder waters and it is full of omega-3, right? And the omega-3 comes from a very healthy marine environment where all these planktonites and algae are the source of omega-3. We here, our ikan kembung, our ikan kurau, our ikan tenggiri, our siakap, our tilapia. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you say, hey, Michael, I eat every week, 3 days, 4 days, every week I eat fish. But our fish is a little bit skinny, lah. So sorry to tell you. So it doesn't mean it doesn't have any, it does have, but it's just not the kind of quality that we're talking about. So really what you want is to get the Alaskan wild salmon, for example. You want to get the New Zealand Ora King salmon, for example, right? You want to get cod, wild cod, if you want. Those are full of omega-3. Or you want to go and get small anchovies and mackerel from the Scandinavian oceans. So these are the kind of stuff that you want to get, okay? So this report is very interesting because it tells you quite a lot. And in just 120 days, in just 14 days, you get your result back and your test, your health level is no longer a mystery to you, right? Because at this moment in time, we are mata buta a little bit, blah, blah, a little bit, because we don't know where we are. If I ask you, before you have taken that particular company's fish oil or that particular company's supplements program, do you know where you are at? You don't, but now we do. It makes common sense, right? Where am I at when I start the program, and where do I want to be when I finish the program in 120 days, right? So it makes good consumerism common sense that we need this piece of information. And I mentioned to you test-based. I already talked about test-based, and now let's talk about the personalized stuff. It makes, again, another score on the common sense level. What does it mean, personalized? Very simple. I am 85 kilos right now. I'm sure most ladies out there are in the range of maybe 50, 60 kilos, or some even lighter than 50 kilos, right? It makes no sense that we are consuming the same amount of oil, right? In your family, wife, husband, children, grandparents, and so on and so forth. It makes no sense. Everyone take 2 capsules one day, 3 times a day, every day for the rest of the year. Doesn't make sense, right? The man is much bigger. The woman is much more petite. The children is a lot more younger and lighter and smaller. The grandparents are also lighter and a little bit more frail. It makes no sense that we all eat one size fit all. So this particular company comes to us and say, hey, guys, we are very sensible. You have to eat according to your weight. Okay? So how do you eat it? You eat it with according to your weight, multiplied by 0.15 gives you the volume of your intake in terms of the oil. 1 teaspoon is 5 ml. 1 tablespoon is 15 ml. Okay? So this particular numbers on the screen here is 92 kg multiplied by 0.15 equals 13.8 ml. Now this guy could either go 3 teaspoons, the one that you make coffee with, or 1 tablespoon, the one that you eat nasi lemak with. Okay, so up to you. You eat, you round up the numbers, right? And because this is the highest food grade premium food that you can get, it won't harm you if you're just eating 1.2 ml more. So in fact, it doesn't harm you at all. Okay, so that's the personalized part of this particular component. And the natural ingredient, the nutrition rather, I've already mentioned about the omega-3 oil that is protected by polyphenol and extending its lifespan so that you get the maximum potency and the most bioavailability of the substance so that it can work on our cellular level. It has vitamin D3 and vitamin E that helps to kill off our free radical, vitamin D3 to help our immune system, our bone health, our hormones, okay? So I won't talk too much about the polyphenol here, with the exception, maybe I'll just touch on this particular slide, and then that would be the end of my session here, and I'll open up for Q&A. This particular chart here shows you that in January, we sent out the team to the market to look at what are the omega-3 oils over the counter available here in Malaysia before I got into the business. And I found that 0, none. No company whatsoever over the counter in Malaysia or on any of our shelves in any pharmacy here in Malaysia sells any omega-3 oil with polyphenol, let alone vitamin D3. Okay, some claims that they have E, but they don't tell you the dosage of it. The unique part about this is polyphenol and omega-3 oil. Okay, no one out there, unfortunately, sells this particular combination. And worst case is no one is at this sort of a competitive price for the oil that you can consume. Sorry, I used the wrong word, oil. It is, in my opinion, the highest premium food source that you can get your hands onto. Okay, so this is how beneficial this particular product is. Now, the third product, sorry, I can't go without talking about this third product, which is the Zinzino skin serum. Is very active in the sense that it helps reduces fine lines, blemishes, reduction of pores. It provides elasticity to the skin. It hydrates the skin, and it works on 3 levels: the epidermis, the outer layer, the dermis, and hypodermis, which is the inner, the foundation of the skin. Okay, and it works to rebuild, repair, and protect. And the primary hero agent within this particular product is none other than polyphenol, the master antioxidant, right? So, oh, I forgot to mention about one more point just now. With this polyphenol, it actually helps to increase your good cholesterol, and it also decreases your bad cholesterol. So some people in the community here has actually gone out and didn't prank their doctor, but almost scared the doctor a little bit, or surprised the doctor, maybe is a better word, that within 2 to 3 months of consuming the oil, the cholesterol level totally flattened out to an optimal health level. So this is very interesting and very important. Sorry, I've gone ghost stunned a little bit. So back to the serum. That's the value of the serum that we have. And we have this particular person that has used this serum for 4 months, and you can see for yourself evidently that all the black, darker blemish are gone, and the lines around the eyes are gone, and particularly also the lips are a lot more prettier in this case here, right? And this is a friend of ours, Jude, and you can see it for yourself from one picture on the left vis-a-vis the one on the right, over 47 days. So that's actually quite impressive. Now I'm going to share one more picture of this young lady here. I actually keep forgetting her name. Kate, what's her name? Or Marvin?
She's Jack.
Jack, okay. For weeks and months, I've been talking about her. I can't remember her name. Anyway, Jack, she's in her early 30s. And look at what happened to her. And she only had the oil for 1.5 months, which is 1.5 bottles. She lost 8 kilos. I lost 7 kilos in 4 months. And this young girl here lost 8 kilos in 1.5 months. But is this a weight loss product? The answer is no, it's not. Why? Why am I saying that? Because remember, I said it works from the cellular level, right? It improves, rejuvenates the cellular wall. And from your cell, it optimizes your organ function. When your organ functions are working harmoniously, you have optimum health. When you have optimum health, obviously the body will naturally burn off the extra fat that you're carrying. The body, our body is not designed to be fat or carrying fat. It's not. Once the health is optimized, it naturally burns the fat off. So which is very, very interesting. And our body only keeps and reserves fat when we are in a state of inflammation, or our body is in a state of shock. When we are in a shock state, meaning unhealthy state, or also means inflamed state, the body reserves food, thinking that it may need to use this food at some point in time. So wrong. A lot of people just boom, 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 boom. they go bigger and bigger and bigger, but they never get to reduce because their underlying health status is not optimized. Okay, so this is actually what happens to Jack here. Okay, so now we have the serum, we have the oil, and we have the test well understood. So that makes brings me to the end of this sharing. I'm going to unshare and open up to the entire floor for question Q&A right now. So is there any questions that I may answer? Feel free to listen, ask. Any question, guys? Wow, so good. Come now, ask some questions. Pay me in a bit, ma. No, also can ask. See how desperate I am. Question. All right, so you may want to also understand, hey, how much? So how to buy? So, okay, I tell you this. You need to consume for 120 days. So don't think about, oh, I buy one bottle and try first. If you want to try, all our partners here can let you try for free, one small bottle, or come to the house, or they can come to you and feed you one spoon to try the taste, okay? This is your health. Don't try, because your health is very, very important. And this is not expensive. It can be as cheap as 191 ringgit, right down to 155 ringgit, okay? Is that cheap? Don't cheapen your health, because otherwise, when you go and pay for the hospital, is much more than this. I can guarantee that, because I can many, many times, okay? So this is a very small investment. Yes, go ahead.
I'm Thomas. Can I
Hi,
ask
Thomas.
you?
Hi.
Yeah, I heard this oil can also help kids like hyperactive or autism. How exactly it help?
Okay, well, it basically calms them down a little bit more. This is not a downer or an upper, right? Now, a lot of autistic children that we know has benefited from this. If you can get them to feed on it, okay, because it has to be oral and is oil, okay. This is not a capsule, so it's not as easy as just swallowing it down or chasing it down with a glass of water and be done with, or mix it with the food. This is actually oil. But having said that, then oil, I'm drinking my coffee, and my coffee I always pour the oil on top. So not that your children will drink coffee, but whatever drink you can mix it into my smoothie. I also pour some balanced oil onto it, so they can consume it. Now I know your question is about how would it help them. Vitamin D3 is one of the underlying minerals that can help the child to calm down a lot more, so as it is with polyphenol. Omega-3 oil helps on the cellular level to optimize them so that they can detox a lot of heavy metals toxicity in these sort of children, okay? These sort of children, I know it's been an unequal struggle to detox them because they can't get a needle into them. I know this kind of cases a lot in the past. So this is one way when the health of the cellular wall is enhanced, the body by default will start to discharge, if not detox, the heavy metals that is stuck in their body, okay? So does it make sense, Thomas?
Yeah, yes, thanks. But for example, I let my son 11 years old, is hyperactive autism. It took almost 2 months, this oil, already 2 months. And seems like he's hyperactive, he's still there, and sometimes very hyper and not so calm. So what can we say about it?
Okay, well, check your dosage, okay? Now, children like this for 11 years, they've been living with these challenges, these issues in them, right? So if you're taking 1-2 months, you may need a little bit more time. Or if you have found a way, Thomas, to administer the oil to your child, explore increasing the dosage a little bit more, like for example, doubling it. Okay, if you can find a way to double the oil, let the child consume for the next bottle on a double dose. I would recommend that.
Okay, actually, from the beginning, I already double dose. For example, at his weight of 35, 36 kilo, it's only about half tablespoon. I already gave him 1 tablespoon. So hopefully you can see some good result coming.
Yes.
Already double dose. Thanks.
Okay, good, Thomas. I also would recommend that you please capture his progress. So in other words, write down some notes of your own personal observation, right? So let's see what happens. We have a partner here that claims to wait till 6 weeks to 6 months to see some effect. Normally, those with underlying issues would take a little bit more time. And the normal protocol is actually 120 days, which is 4 months. So let's see for another couple of months how your son progress.
Okay, thanks.
Your notes are very important because it will come a time where you need to speak to the doctor with regards to this. I would highly recommend, and it may be a little bit too early right now, therefore I'm not suggesting that you speak to the doctor, the medical panel, but I have every intention to come back to you, Thomas, in 4 months' time. When we reach that milestone, is to get some notes from you, your observation, so that we can engage a discussion with be it Dr. Abraham or Dr. Colin in the UK about this.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Now I have to, go back to my slides because I wanted to share a little bit of the product. I'm showing off. Sorry? Hello, yes? Oh, okay. I think it's June. Okay, so that's CPK1. This is the set that you may want to consider. So let me launch the slide so that you understand step by step. The base set is 795 before shipping, okay? Now the base set is already very ideal for one person because you get 2 balance tests, which is great. You get a test before, you get a test after 120 days. You get a good size of 2 bottles of 300 ml oil and 2 100 ml. Now I have to tell you that this won't be enough. Okay, you need literally for 4 months intake. So therefore, you may want to choose to buy the prepay and save, which is the bigger set at 1,725 that comes with 9 bottles of 300, 2 bottles of 100 and 2 tests. You may be able to share this with your members of family. So say a husband and wife, so 4 bottles each, there's plenty. And you have 1 bottle to spare and you have 2 bottles of 100 ml that you can also share with other members of family or friends, okay? So this to me is the most economical package to buy because you have 1 test each in this case here for 120 days, okay? Then you have the option to subscribe, which is 1,785 ringgit. So this really means that you get to, what have I done? Sorry, I missed my slide's gone funny now. So that is the subscription package. No, sorry. Okay, the subscription package is this one, 1,785, that comes with 8 bottles of 300, 2 bottles of 100, 2 balance tests, and shipping charges is charged onto it because the subscription model allows you to to pay for the basic set, which is 795, and then purchase it month on month at 155 per month for one bottle of the 300 ml. And it gets shipped out to you once every 2 months. So you pay like an installment. So this one here, you pay 60 ringgit more. So that's why I recommended the one on the left, where you buy it as a prepay and save, and you are actually paying about 191 ringgit per month for the consumption of the oil, right? So the second set that you may choose from is CPK2, no test. But if it's no test, I also have to say this, it means nothing, right? Because you don't know where you're starting from, and you definitely don't know where you're going to end up with. So I don't recommend it. I think we are now in today's year 2021, we are very much an informed customer. So we really want to know as much as we can about our health, where we start from and where we're going to end, right? And that is what we call accountability. The company is accountable for your progress. And so far in the entire community, we've seen 85 to 93% improvement. Wow. You know, what kind of a nutrition program or supplement program from any companies out there that can be so brave to ask you to do a test before and do a test after 120 days and show you nothing lesser than 60% improvement. And we've been seeing 85 to 93% improvement. Wow. To me, that's why it's important to have the test. But if you insist not to have the test, you can buy the biggest set here at 1,355 for you, yourself, and one members of the family, and still have enough to go around as a sample to share with other members of family. Okay, 1,355 or 1,415 if you choose to pay the installment way. Okay, so this one here you can get as cheap as 150 ringgit a bottle a month consumption. So that's why I said you can get as cheap as 155 or 191. So this is the range that you can get, and that's the difference. But I highly recommend for you to choose this particular package because it comes with a test, and you really want to know how unwell you are. Because don't do things mata buta buta at the moment, because it is no meaning, right? Like any other direct sales company, you just eat 2 3 times a day, eat, buy. Then you don't know where you are, no meaning, okay? So be intelligent, use the test, buy this particular set. Okay, now opening up back to questions again. Any questions? I'm going to stop sharing. Anyone? Okay, partners, anyone has any question? Okay, tonight, I'm so glad we're finishing earlier than normal. So to that effect, if there's no other questions, I would wrap up this evening at this place. June, any question from your side? Or any
Yes.
testimonials? Yes, June.
Yes. Okay, I just want.
Oh, June, you muted. Unmute yourself, June. Unmute yourself.
Just consumed balanced oil for few days, but his eczema come back. That means the itch is start coming back. So what is your advice?
Okay.
And then second thing, I'm going to recommend my friend's son. He's got psoriasis problem, so that I have to prepare for this. So
June, you're muted again. Unmute. June, unmute. Yeah. June,
Yes,
cirrhosis problem. You halfway there. We lost you.
psoriasis.
Yes. Okay. Listen. Very simple. If they just consume for first few days, these are normally what we in the clinical terms as a healing crisis. The body is reacting towards it. It's perfectly all right. It will go on for 2, 3, 4 days, and then it will settle down and calm down. It gets a little bit angry, and then it comes back down again. So not a major issue. All the problems that you're suggesting are autoimmune problem.
Mm.
This particular formulation truly helps to what's the word that I'm trying? Readjust, rebalance out your autoimmune issues. So the first, especially when it comes to you with a little bit of a reaction within the first maybe 5 days, it's okay. Bear with it for the next 3 to 4 days. It's a healing crisis. The body is trying to figure out what's happening and what's to react with. So it's perfectly all right.
But I because he cannot stand the itch, so I give him double dose. So at night, normally it's take in the morning. So now I give him morning and night. But the thing got improved a bit.
Okay, that's very brave. I normally would just half it, but then it's okay. It's good experiment that you're doing, and splitting it across twice a day is the way to do it. Yes.
Okay, okay. Because I thought want to give him the medication back, but my son said, he said, Mommy, I try to come down first lah, because before he taken the medication, he know that if you take the medication, how long can you keep taking it, he said. So at least now got balance oil is a nutrient for this problem. So he don't mind like just stand for a few days long.
Okay. Very, very a sensible boy you have there. Well done.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. So if it's an autoimmune problem, very easy to resolve over time.
Okay, okay, understood. Noted, noted.
Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Anyone wants to share anything? Jeff, Rizal? Hey, Kenji, how are you feeling now?
Kenji.
Okay, feeling now okay.
Good. Improved?
Feel better than before lah.
Wonderful. Good news. Keep it up. This is
Yeah.
1 month, right?
Yeah, and then I start to eat healthy food, everything lah.
Okay. But you already eat very healthy food, brother.
Yeah. I already, how to say fasting I start from 7 until tomorrow 10 start to eat lah.
Oh, good. Intermittent fasting. That's very good.
Yeah.
That's very,
Yeah,
very good.
And then every morning take some the breakfast soda. After that, take my breakfast and then the Zinzino oil lah after that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All the best, Kenji. Keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Keep it
thank you,
up.
thank you. Yeah.
You see big changes coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, folks, if that's the case, no other questions, I'll wrap it up tonight. I'm very blessed to have your time taken out to share, to come and listen to my sharing. I wish you all safe and good health. Okay, so good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.